Everybody should soak in this moment and enjoy it because it finally happened, y'all. It finally happened. Elon Musk has seemingly been excommunicated and banished from MAGA. Trump is done with him. The Republicans are fed up with him. Now it's been all but verified by the media that behind the scenes, the bromance is officially over. So here, let's walk you through it. So first of all, Elon Musk, he just looks like he's lifeless now. He just looks like he's struggling to find a reason to keep going. Just look at his face. Look at his body language. It's screaming from the visuals here. So he did an interview with CNBC. Here's an interesting moment. Let's watch this one, and then I got more for you.
My question is more about your work at Doge, for example. Was that worth it? You know, to the extent you are now, Elon, you were a somewhat divisive figure 2 years ago, but now you really are. I mean, there are people who love you, but there are a lot of people who dislike you, some of whom were your customers. And I wonder, was it worth the undertaking at Doge and everything else that you've done and how outspoken you've been in terms of the things you believe in to antagonize so many potential buyers and or users of things like a robotaxi?
The only honest answer here is no, it wasn't worth it. That's the only honest answer. Because the fan base of Tesla, think about it, who were they? They were usually like wealthy liberals who care about climate change. They want an electric car because they don't want to contribute to the problem, right? And then this guy becomes a crusading far-right fascist MAGA freak. And that entire fan base started going, sort of fuck this guy. Sort of fuck this guy. And so your whole fan base dried up. What did you think? Like, you know, rural Trump voters were all of a sudden going to start buying Teslas? No, they're driving Ford F-150s and Chevy Silverados. And just because they liked you for a while didn't mean they were going to rush out and buy a Tesla. So the fan base dried up, bro. Never mind all the problems overseas. I mean, shit, in Europe, you guys know, there's been like over a 90% drop in Tesla sales. They're talking about banning it in the entire European Union. Tesla imports.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, what I've learned is that legacy media propaganda is very effective.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the media. It's not you. It's not your actions. It's not that you slashed pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels. It's not that you pissed off everybody. It's not that you fired anywhere between 100,000 and 250,000 government workers. It's the media. Sure, fella.
Making people believe things that aren't true.
What would an example of that be?
That I'm a Nazi, for example. And how many legacy media publications, talk shows, whatever, try to claim that I was a Nazi because of some random hand gesture at a rally.
Random hand gesture. This guy's just dishonest. By the way, it was not just the legacy media that was saying that. It was the commonly held opinion. There were only a handful of Elon taint ticklers who defended him and said it wasn't a Nazi salute. Of course, I'm thinking of Joe Rogan. I heard all these, bro, he's just like autistic and stuff, bro. He just like gets excited and stuff, bro. That's all that is. Really? You know, I know plenty of autistic people. None of them are randomly started goose-stepping around the room.
All I said was that my heart goes out to you, and I was talking about space travel.
Bro, why are you saying that the Zig Heil looks like a Zig Heil? And he plays immensely dishonest with this too, because we have a long track record of times Elon Musk flat out retweets and openly supports Nazi Twitter accounts, white nationalist Twitter accounts, you know, Boer pro-apartheid Twitter accounts. He's responded to actual Nazis and said, you have told the actual truth, when they're spreading some anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Like, it's absurd to pretend like, oh, that's the only reason you guys think I'm a Nazi is because I was Zig Heiling, which, by the way, that alone, it would be like eyebrow raising, like, yeah, that counts as evidence, bro. But it goes above and beyond that, and he's just lying about it. So, but what's interesting is he tipping it off that, like, all the MAGA figures behind the scenes were like, yeah, that kind of looked like a Nazi salute to me too, bro. And you're sort of tanking our popularity along with you. Because that's the thing. The Wisconsin Supreme Court race was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, where Elon went all in on that and spent $1 gazillion and was the like public face of that race, and his candidate got blown out by double digits. And so that must have been a wake-up call to Trump and all the other MAGA figures of like, oh, this guy is actually just as hateable as we think he is. Because interpersonally, he was also butting heads with so many of the other cabinet members in the Trump regime, right? Fighting with Marco Rubio, fighting with Sean Duffy, He has the worst interpersonal people skills of anybody ever, where he just pisses everybody off all the time, acts like he's an expert on things that he's not at all an expert on. And that brings me to this. So we got another one here. Again, look at how dead he seems. Look at how dead he seems. Watch this.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Ooh, I don't currently see a reason to keep doing political spending. Really? So you got everything you ever wanted. Donald Trump has the White House. The Republicans have the House. The Republicans have the Senate. He's currently taking over the courts. You already have the Supreme Court. And you don't see a reason to do political spending? To keep getting Republicans in there? To, finalize what your backwards ideology is? Weird. It's almost like he's already taking it personally. He's already thinking like, I feel betrayed by these other MAGA people. Again, why? Because I'm sure they realized this guy is political poison. He is toxic. Everybody hates him. He doesn't help us. He hurts us. Even given the $270 million that he gave to Trump to basically buy him the White House, they're looking around now going, maybe it wasn't worth it. Because this guy, look at what he did, bro. The other thing is, in a just world, he's going to face tremendous legal problems. Because he violated the Constitution right in front of our eyes. Congress has the power of the purse. He usurped that, right? They violated the Impoundment Control Act. You can't just hack into the Treasury, steal everybody's data, which, by the way, he did do that, which is another crime, and then also cut all the agencies that regulate your ass and cut all the social safety net programs, and that's what he did. But this is a sign, man, that they basically were like, you're done, homie. You're done, but I'm not done yet. Ready? In Mediaite. Politically toxic. Politico dives into why deeply unpopular Elon Musk has disappeared from D.C. Elon Musk was, just months ago, a fixture in Trump world, posing beside the president on the White House lawn, riding Air Force One, attending cabinet meetings, and even featuring prominently in Trump campaign emails. But he's now vanishing from the political foreground. In a sprawling deep dive published Monday, Politico journalists Jessica Piper and Holly Otterbein charted the tech mogul's rapid fall from Republican grace, pointing to a coordinated, if quiet, retreat by GOP operatives now wary of Musk's tanking popularity. Once omnipresent in Washington and virtually inseparable from Trump, Politico reported the name Elon Musk is now barely uttered in MAGA circles. Not by Trump, not by his team, not even by lawmakers. According to the outlet, the silence is strategic. Musk has become deeply unpopular with voters across the spectrum. The outlet notes that while Trump used to post about Musk, who donated $290 million into the 2024 Republican campaign about 4 times a week, he has not mentioned the businessman in online posts for over a month. Some Republicans describe Musk as politically toxic. He's finished, done, gone, one anonymous GOP operative told the publication. He polls terrible. People hate him. And for Republicans heading into a high-stakes midterm cycle, embracing a political liability is no longer a viable option. Even Trump's fundraising machine, once quick to pair Musk's name with donation appeals, has backed off. In February, mentions of Musk were routine in campaign emails. By May, they'd all but vanished, Politico reported after analysis. Musk's government role as head of Doge was headline fodder in Trump's early days, but as tariffs and immigration now dominate the agenda, even his controversial cost-cutting efforts have lost their edge. Still, as Politico noted, Musk remains a specter for Democrats who are in no rush to drop him as a campaign foil. He still shows up in ads, especially in swing districts, often paired with Trump, a shorthand for the perceived extremism of the MAGA-led GOP. Justifying Democrats' continued fixation with Musk, despite his retreat from the headlines, party strategist Jesse Ferguson told the outlet, ultimately the issue here was never about Elon Musk, it was about Elon Muskism. Now, by the way, there was just a report he's still gonna meet with a South African delegation with Trump. He's still lurking behind the scenes, right? You still have Doge illegally slashing programs. All of that is still going on. Let's be crystal clear about that. So my takeaway from this is Occam's razor, basically. He's still allowed to fuck with our government, to cut whatever programs he wants, right? He still has the ear of the president because he spent, apparently it was $290 million to get Trump elected. So he still has free reign to do whatever he wants, but he lost free reign in terms of having the public see him, hear him, have him be a figurehead of MAGA, because they finally realized, hold on, look at the polls. Elon Musk is more unpopular than Joe Biden. Biden had like a 36% approval rating, and this is towards the end when his brain was leaking out of his ears and he was really struggling, and it looked like he was just, he was just dunzo. That was a 36% approval rating for Biden. Elon's down at 30. He's more unpopular. It's outside the margin of error. The guy really is like cancer politically. That's why his candidate in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race lost by double digits. That's why Democrats can beat up on this guy relentlessly. It turns out there really is only one Trump. Trump, it's like you could have all this dirt on him, you can attack him on it 24/7, and he still somehow finds a way to never go below his absolute floor and usually keep it even above his floor. He'll have a 45% approval rating at the same time he's slashing healthcare for poor people and starting 3 new wars. And it's like, how the fuck does this guy avoid the reality of politics that everybody else is subject to, where there's real-time fluctuation in like who likes you? He seems to be like immune to that. Elon Musk is the opposite. And it really goes back to just regular psychology here, where there's something about the guy that people just don't like. He's just icky. Something about him is just off. Something about the way he communicates just makes you want to walk away from him, makes you want to not listen to him, makes you want to not be around him. He's just deeply, deeply unlikable. He's like the least persuasive man on the planet. He's so fucking awkward. And they realized it, and the polls showed it, and the Wisconsin Supreme Court race validated it and verified it. And now they're like, hey man, you can keep causing havoc. You can keep destroying everything around us, but you're going to have to shut the fuck up and do it quietly because you're hurting us. So wow, the breakup really happened. But remember guys, it's not really a breakup unless and until Trump starts like verbally beheading him publicly. Right? It's not really, we've seen Trump breakups before. It's not amicable. It's not quiet. Every breakup he's ever had, it's been very aggressive. It's been very like, I'm going to make an example of your bitch ass. And he hasn't done that yet. Why? The answer is simple. Because we speculated early on, there's probably some sort of a financial agreement that they had, some sort of a corrupt deal that they made behind the scenes, and that puts Trump in a position where he can't treat him like he would treat anybody else and publicly, verbally behead him. Right? So, the speculation was Trump's got that scam crypto coin. Who do you think helped hook Trump up with this scam crypto coin where he's now making hundreds of millions or billions of dollars? Right? There's all these corrupt tech deals and crypto deals that he has behind the scenes. I guarantee you it was Elon Musk and other broligarchs that set that up for him. And they also gave him all this money to make sure he gets elected. And all Trump has to do in response is basically let Elon Musk run the government. And that's what he did. That's what Doge was. That's what it meant to usurp the power of Congress and the president and start slashing programs and start stealing data, violating the Impoundment Control Act. Like, he really gave him free reign to do whatever the fuck he wanted. And so it looks to me like there was definitely a deal, because there is no publicly denouncing, verbally beheading. There is none of the messy breakup elements to this. There's just the, we got to quietly, you got to shut the fuck up and go quietly into the night, quietly into the background, but we'll still let you fuck around with our government. And so I honestly think both things are validated here. That there's a breakup in the sense that they basically told him, like, you got to shut the fuck up, you're hurting us, right? But there was some sort of a financial deal because he's still lurking back there in the background, bro. He's still lurking, and Doge is still doing its fucking horrible shit. And it's not like they reversed all... No, of course they didn't reverse all that shit. They're fighting a lot of these cases in court, trying to argue it's okay that we, destroyed USAID and slashed pediatric cancer research and destroyed the NIH and stopped the long-term diabetes and Alzheimer's studies, etc. So, really interesting that at least they've come to the realization that this guy cannot be a public face for us because he is the worst of the worst. And clearly Elon Musk... It's clearly settled in where he realizes he's having another one of those moments like, well, why does nobody like me? Why do people always want me to shut up and not be around them? You could see it. It's written all over his face. The stench of rejection is there. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.